The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio. A show that looks good, feels good, and sounds good. This is When in Rome with Stuart Rome.
Hey, welcome back to another fantastic, and I do mean fantastic, I love this show. It's won awards. It's a hybrid kind of thing. It's kind of put the entire podcast industry on its nose because, and Stuart knows this, Stuart, of course, the owner of the Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. He is originally down from New Orleans, had a store down there, came up here and opened the store in Birmingham now. It's been open for almost a half a decade. I can't believe how long it's been. And of course, it just expanded back in this past January. But it's just been amazing, the growth in your industry. And welcome to the big show, big guy. We missed you last week. I hope you're doing well. I know there was a lot of hurricanes going on. You were trying to take some time off down in Destin, but to welcome back to the big show, man.
Good to be back. Yeah, we took a little time off and went down to Destin. Unfortunately, we were on the good side, so to speak, of that hurricane. So we didn't, we got the wind. We had pretty nice waves, and that was nice Thursday, but it pulled down some really great weather for Friday and Saturday. So it actually ended up being a great weekend for us.
There you go.
Not so much other people, obviously, but it was nice being down there, and it wasn't too crowded because it's a little bit off season now. You know, kids are back in school, and all in all, it was a nice trip. So it's good to do it. And now I'm kind of back in the saddle, getting ready for the big season coming up.
Oh man, I know. And it's October, and I was telling the kids, I got some lights that are hanging from outside that don't work anymore that I just never took down. And I'm like, ain't no reason to take them down now, brother, because they're fixing to go back up.
Right.
We're that close. And of course, Halloween, more people putting up lights and stuff for Halloween than they do any other time. What do you guys do for Halloween? Do you have any special packages? birmingham.woodhousespas.com. You're always looking for a reason to have a special package. I got something the other day. You had would you have a sellout Thursday? Was it yesterday where you were trying to book Were you trying to book up everything? Yeah, I got my notification. Unfortunately, it was a little too late for me to head on down there.
Today,
but
actually.
Is it today? Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm hoping that's going well. But just talk about some of the specials. I love getting that stuff, man. It's nice. Normally I'm getting texts from business associates, and sometimes I get texts I want to see, sometimes I don't. And then once in a while I'll get something to Woodhouse Day Spa, and it's always one I read. It's always nice because I know it's always a good deal. But what kind of specials do you have going on for Halloween? And to talk about one of these sellout type of deals you came up with, was that your idea? And how often do you do those things?
Yes, we do it on occasion, but it's kind of an odd Thursday. I was looking at the books Monday and Tuesday, and Thursday a lot of times it hadn't filled up yet at that point. But yesterday I was looking at it, and for some reason Thursday was really, really light. For some reason, the only day this week. So I said, well, let me try to get some business in here, get the therapist some business, and so I put out a quick text saying $30 off, any service you want to pick from the menu, and they called me and said, man, the phone hadn't stopped ringing. I think we only had, I want to say, like 16 to 18 appointments yesterday for today.
Yeah.
And it went to over 60 with that, that email.
How about that? That is killer. Hey, I think you got something there, man. Don't forget to do that now, brother.
Right. I hate to do it all the time because I keep giving away money, but it's getting people in. And then, as far as specials, from October, we do have our fall specials. We have this. I think you may have received an email on that new toasty pumpkin mani pedi service that we're putting on.
Now, what is this now? What is it called?
It's called the toasty pumpkin manicure pedicure.
Toasty, okay.
And just these products that like pumpkin spice type stuff, and it's really cool pedicure, manicure, something different to offer. So that's our fall seasonal, October-ish kind of special. And then of course we'll be getting into the Christmas holiday specials pretty soon. We'll have probably 4 or 5 packages up for that, along with gift card and gift with purchase type stuff and all that. So that's all coming up in the next, I want to say, probably 3 weeks or so. We'll probably get that wrapped up. So,
yeah, I think we finally jumped the deep end there, because it used to be the old man's coming out better. It used to be we started doing Christmas right after Thanksgiving because we had Black Friday, and everyone's like, it's too early, can't let us get through Thanksgiving. And then it backed up a little bit, and then I think when we started doing like Black Friday and we started doing like Internet Monday or Wi-Fi Monday, whatever that is, when we started doing
Cyber Monday,
and then next thing you know, when Amazon came along, they do specials 4 or 5 times a year. They pick a day and they do it, and just like you did with your business, so you're thinking outside the box, and I love that. you create the magic part of those days. You can create that's when we used to do Christmas in July.
Right.
Whatever it takes to create.
We used to have this furniture guy in New Orleans at Campo Appliance, big local furniture guy. Mm-hmm. Way back in the day, I remember starting the Christmas in July specials for the furniture store. And I thought he was out of his mind, and now it's kind of normal.
It is. Isn't it crazy? I mean, it really is. And then, obviously, if you, depending on whether you go to Home Depots and stuff like that, you can really kind of tell where the market's going because they set out their stuff before anyone else does, or a Michael's or whatever. But the Halloween stuff actually started coming out, I saw in August.
Oh yeah,
And you know what's weird, and I mean this. I think within now. Let me ask you this. I think within 10 years, Halloween maybe it'll definitely be the second biggest holiday in this country. I don't know what's going on with Halloween. It seems like all of a sudden people are going crazy for Halloween stuff. I got more Christmas lights up at Halloween time than I would do during Christmas time in my neighborhood.
Yeah,
but
I used to. Halloween, I don't know, for some reason, it's always been one of my favorite holidays, even though it's not really a holiday. But even, as a kid and even then as you get an adult, you start going to the more adult parties. But it's, I've always liked Halloween as one of my favorite times of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been into it. It's funny because I loved it until I was about 15 or 16, and then you kind of go through that lull in your life, and all of a sudden it kind of turns into an adult party, and next thing you know, you're doing that. We used to do, we did costume contests, and Lord, I wish I had some of those pictures of some of those contests we did at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know which ones were always going to win the money,
Of course.
But yeah, we used to have some hellacious Halloween parties. It was a lot of fun. So speaking of Halloween, we're in October. Put an R in that bad boy, and let's make it Rocktober. You got some Rocktober tunes to get into. Give me your first song here this week here on When in Rome with Stuart Rome.
Yep, we're going to start out with the Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
Shout at the Devil. That, of course, has a nice little Halloween overtone to it. I like it very much. And, of course, every song we've got going on has something to do with the devil, has something to do with maybe hellacious type of stuff, has stuff to do with Halloween stuff. It's going to be perfect. He is Stuart Rome, the owner of the Woodhouse Day Spa, Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, 905-7676, 905-7676. Go to their website. It's fantastic. And again, it's always changing. I know a lot of people don't like to go to like a website for staples or something because it never changes. The Woodhouse Day Spa always changes. So get after it. Several things I want to get into today for you. First of all, was an article that I read early this morning. And it's really interesting because of the way that we have gotten in this country. It seems like the wealthier get wealthier and the poor get poorer, the middle class. I'm not sure what's going on, but what's going on is there's a lot of baby boomers who seem to be doing pretty well for themselves. And they're wanting to retire now. They're starting to create these new types of retirement homes with spas that are included in these retirement villages. Now, I've been to like Danbury where they have a movie theater, and they haven't gone as far as like have a bowling alley and stuff like that, but they do have a gym. There's a therapy pool where you can work out, and it's got the Alzheimer's wing and things like that. It's all inclusive, but if you want to spend the money, you can go as high as you want to go, is what I'm saying. There's no, in other words, if you got $30,000 a month, they'll figure out a way for you to rip through $30,000 a month. And I'm not talking about playing bingo 15 times a day. I'm talking about bike trips and, taking trips to the mall or whatever. But spas seem to be a huge new movement for a lot of people, baby boomers, that want to enjoy the good life and have the money to spend. What's your thoughts on that? Have you looked into that? You're a businessman. That sounds like something you'd get into.
Right. I mean, it makes sense because, the baby boomers, not so much our parents, but now the people growing up, used to go into spas. So now they're going to expect those kind of amenities if they ever go to retire.
Sure.
Somewhere. Whereas back in the day, it wasn't, nearly as popular. And then the growth of these places, like you said, I mean, it's, there's one going down in Orange Beach, like one of these Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville retirement type communities. It's all made for, more active people. It's no longer considered like a retirement community. It's considered just getting away and not having to do so much shit that you used to have to do, like mow your own lawn and, but but you expect to have everything on site, so to speak, rather than let's take the shuttle to a spa somewhere, or let's go to a movie. They want everything there, and that's kind of what these things are being designed around, is to basically really be a mini community within a community, so to speak. So I think it's a great idea. I mean, I can see myself being going to one of those places. I don't think I might get tired of it, but I'd like to try it out at least.
Well, there's a place that's opening here that is for 55-year-olds and up. And I can't believe I actually considered this, but I saw it. It looked like a nice place. It had a pool, and it was, and it said for seniors. And I didn't know if it was a nursing home or it was a retirement village. I think it was called out retirement, but it was for anybody. But I mean, it was basically an apartment thing where you still, you didn't have, they had doctors and nurses on hand, don't get me wrong, and you could be a little older, but it was inclusive from the standpoint that you could still walk around, still go to the pool, they still party there, they had a bar there and everything else. And I'm thinking that's kind of cool for senior living. If you've got that kind of cash and you don't want to be thought of one of these people that's sitting in a wheelchair, with an air monitor on, 34 hours a day. And
down at Boca del Vista.
Yeah, exactly. Which is really, great idea, because there is a lot of money to tap into. Let me ask you this, because you are a savvy businessman. Would this be something, and you've been part of Woodhouse Day Spa for a long time, and I remember you talking about, how much has expanded just since we started doing this show 3-4 years ago. But that may be something maybe the Woodhouse Day Spa could get to be part of, something like that, because there's no reason why you couldn't have one spa as part of I'm telling you, man, we got problems with our I'm doing a show called Home Field Advantage with Expert Realty. And we know we're like 13 million homes short in the United States right now. I can't find a place to live. And then we go rent, and rent's higher than mortgage rates. It's outrageous. It's unbelievable. Yep. We have a major issue here with housing. And so it's only seemed fitting that as some of these older couples either move into retirement villages or die off, that perhaps that'll ease up a little bit. And maybe one of those things is building more retirement villages.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly see that. And as far as the spa aspect goes to it, it's pretty similar to some models where you have a Woodhouse spa in the bottom of a regular hotel, like let's just say a Hyatt or whatever. Yeah. Typically those are in places where it also serves the local community, because the hotel spas we usually won't make it on their own, but they will make it if it's open to the general public. If there's a entrance on the street entrance, or to have going into the hotel, those kind of things. And I can see the kind of the same thing working with one of these retirement communities. I guess it would depend on how many people actually would be there to support it, and if it would be accessible to other people in the community that don't live there. So it's kind of complicated. It's all about the numbers, obviously, and how many people will possibly be able to access it, how many people can afford it. It's just a numbers game like everything else.
It would definitely be high end. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net, info at TonyCurryRadio.net for all your email questions. And of course, you can always call me on my cell phone, 542-1848. I give out my cell phone number. I don't care. Call me night and day. I'll answer the phone. I'll answer your questions. You can text me, or you text the radio station here as well on those lines. You can even talk to me down the hallway like my daughter did on the way in. I asked my daughter, Lila, she goes, when are you going to be talking to Mr. Rome again? And I said, I'll be talking to him a little bit later on this afternoon. She goes, would you please ask him? And I said, yes. I said, do I need to pull off the side of the road to get? She goes, no, I think you can keep driving. She goes, would you please ask him why they don't do nail extensions? She thinks it'd be a great business idea. She goes, I could see a lot of people wanting to get nail extensions. She said, they don't do nail extensions. She goes, there's a place next door that does it. I said, well, maybe they have a deal with them. She said, but I don't understand, as a spa, they don't do nail extensions. So what's the beef?
Well, we don't focus, so to speak, on nails. We only have 3 chairs, and then they're basically for people that, a lot of people come in for multiple services. They might want to get a massage or a facial, and then while they're there, get the nails done and painted. But, the extensions are more specialty. People go specifically to places just to do that. A lot of places do them, like the place next to us, like you'd already said, I think they have like 40 or 50 nail chairs. It's just a huge place, and that's all they do. So yeah, they're going to do that kind of thing. But for us, we're more focused on the whole wellness and experience aspect of it. And, like I said, we have 3 chairs, so we have enough to handle the existing guests, to have multiple services, but it's just not really something we want to get into. We're happy to, we do send people next door. We have a great relationship with them. So if somebody comes in and asks about that, we don't do it, we'll send them next door. It's great.
All right, there we go. We're doing Rocktoberfest, if you will, Rocktober songs, stuff that has to do obviously with Halloween or just the month of October. What's your next song? I love this song, by the way. This song almost took Legion Field the upper deck down. They had to take the upper deck down after this song was played by the Rolling Stones. It was fantastic.
Right, yeah, this is Stones. Obviously, this is Sympathy for the Devil.
Sympathy for the Devil, when they were going, woo-hoo, I remember sitting on that upper deck, man, and the whole deck was starting to sway a little bit. It actually made me a little uncomfortable. The old gray lady's been up for since the 1920s, like that. And I think they took the upper deck down after the Rolling Stones and their Steel Wheels tour there. It was a little iffy. It was a little sketchy. But fantastic. He is Stuart Rome. When in Rome with Stuart Rome. Hey, they're right there in the summit next to Saks. Check out the building. You can drive there anytime you want. Of course, they're open 7 days a week. They're tucked in the back there as you pull in the parking lot. Take your first right past Village Tavern. You can see it up there on the left-hand side by Saks. It's fantastic. 905-7676. And of course, stop by and see him any single time. We get some great emails here. Holly in St. Louis wants to know, please ask Stuart, what is his favorite season and what is his favorite smelling season? Oh, this is a good one. So every season, you were just talking about pumpkin spice and stuff. What's your favorite season and what's your favorite season for smells?
Well, my favorite season overall has always been Christmas. You know, growing up, Catholic kid, Legion Santa, all kind of good things like that. You know, it's always, and it still is. And then when you have young kids like we had, you go through the whole thing again with the Christmas trees and of course, the smell of the Christmas trees, as long as you can buy a real one, those are fantastic too. So I would say both. I would say the scent of just Christmas, the eggnog, the Christmas trees, the pine smells, the cooler air, and the whole 9 yards. I would say both favorite holiday and favorite holiday for scent.
Okay, so you're going to go with the fall and winter time. Yeah, it's tough because I know summertime sure as hell smells pretty good. There's some good stuff that smells around summertime. Springtime, well, you know what? Springtime, winter's probably about the only one because there's not a whole lot to smell in wintertime.
Yeah, I think the air is just clear and cooler, and maybe that's why I like it better. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. Info@TonyCurryRadio.net, info@TonyCurryRadio.net. Please send your email questions and we'll make sure we get to them here. We had Tommy up in Cincinnati, Ohio, my neck of the woods here. And we talked about this previously, right before we started the show. But he wanted to know if there was any door-to-door massage services. They have everything else. Uber delivers anything these days. And now Amazon delivers anything door-to-door. Is there any door-to-door spa service? I know there are private spa people that do their own type of thing, but is there something that goes door to door?
There is. Obviously, it's not something we want to get involved in because we like to focus on the experience, and you can't give somebody a great experience going to the house with the table and them having to deal with the normal distractions that they have to deal with on a daily basis. But there are a couple of services out there. I don't know if it's in Birmingham, but I know across the country there's a couple of different services that have a bunch of massage therapists on there, and you can go online and book them and they'll come to your house. Not sure how they vet the people, as far as safety issues and those kind of things. That would be a little bit scary, but they do exist. Long story short, they do exist. We don't do it. We don't really have any desire to do it, but I would imagine, some people maybe have to do that because maybe they can't always just get out the house,
Yeah, no doubt. 905-7676 birmingham.woodhousespas.com. It's the Woodhouse Day Spa. Keep those email questions coming and we'll read every single one of them. We got a ton of them to get through today. This one is coming from Jill in Birmingham. She wants to know, what is the worst back issue you've ever seen who's tried to come in? We talked about that before. It seems a lot of people are freaked out because if you have a chiropractor and you're going to see a chiropractor on a regular, and you always talk about, go see your doctor first, make sure that everything's good. Yeah. But you certainly want to talk to your esthetician or you want to talk to whoever's doing your service first about some of the issues that you're having to deal with on a regular basis so they can make it better, not worse.
Yeah. I mean, the average back issue that we see is going to be someone's got a severely pulled muscle or they slept wrong and they can't bend that neck and we need to loosen all that stuff up. Occasionally we'll get somebody that maybe had a surgery recently, but did get cleared, from the doctor to come back to us. But typically we won't see something major because they probably wouldn't be coming to us in the first place. They'd probably be going to that doctor if it was something like that. But, so like I said, typically it's going to be severely strained muscle, backache, crick in the neck, slept on it wrong, and possibly recovering from, maybe a minor back surgery where they just try to loosen up that muscle. So fortunately, we haven't had to turn anybody away because the spine's sticking out of that back or something like that.
No doubt, that's not a good thing. One of my favorite albums of all time, probably because it was given to me as a Christmas gift. And I remember when my brother gave it to me, 1982. So I was 16, 17 years old. And my dad about had a shit fit because he saw the cover of this album. He's like, why are you bringing that into the house? Why are you giving that to your brother? It was Diary of a Madman from Ozzy Osbourne.
That's the guy that bites the heads off the bat.
But do you remember he's standing there with the candles around him? He's got blood coming down his side of his face. And my dad's like, get that trash out of this house. But Diary of a Madman. So Ozzy's perfect for October. What song do you have from the Ozman here?
Yeah, this is like the quintessential October Halloween song. This is Bark at the Moon.
Bark at the Moon. That is a fantastic song, man. I forgot about some of these too. These you have done very, very well at picking these songs here. We could probably get another week out of this, as a matter of fact. I bet you can go next week and do that too. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. Another Tommy here. Tommy in Hueytown wants to know, and I don't know why he's asking a question about women. Maybe it's his wife or his girlfriend. He goes, well, what part of a woman's body usually needs the most work when it comes to massage therapy? That's it. I don't think we've ever had that question before. What part of the body? I guess we could throw the feet in there too. We talked about women's feet. We've got a whole show on women's feet and how banged up they must be because they're cramming them into the shoes and they're on those 8-inch heels all day. God love you, ladies, for looking good for us. But what's part of the women's body? Is it the back? Is it the knees? What is it?
Yeah, it's typically it's going to be the feet with the reflexology. Because like you said, they do have to cram themselves in their shoes more than we have to. Other than the reflexology issue, and it also kind of spills over to the pedicures, where that also helps the feet, helps relieve all the tension and things like that. So that's kind of a massage and pedicure type situation. But besides that area, we don't find any specific area different from, say, a man coming in. It's going to be your typical backache, shoulder, or just nothing aches, which is great. We just want to relax and get a great massage. But yeah, so, if I had to say one area, I would definitely focus on the feet and the maybe the calves, those kind of things, which we do address in all of our pedicures and massages.
I think the one thing that us guys, and we're stupid for this because we don't want to cause a ruckus and we don't want to look like we can't handle it. But I know I've been through some massages that quite frankly hurt. They were not very good. It was real early. And I think I was doing something through the radio station where they were doing something for free. And I did not want to tell them, hey, you're being too rough or it hurts too much, because I didn't want to be that guy looking like I was being a softie. Right. And that's the last thing you want to do, man. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do. And all I thought, well, a woman's giving me a massage, for God's sakes, I must just be really soft, or I must just be really out of shape, or I must just have a lot of knots, or I don't know what the situation was, because I could get after it. I could move pretty good. She just so happened to have a really strong touch, and she used her thumbs really well. And man, I mean, I was sore for like 3 or 4 days. And I mean, that's not how you're supposed to feel. So, and we got another question here. And it's Tabitha wants to know, how should I feel, or how will I feel after my first massage? She's having a massage done next week at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Her name's Tabitha. Look her up. She wants to know, how will I feel after my first massage?
You're going to feel like, $1 million for sure. No, seriously, it depends on what she's going to get. Obviously, if she's going in for a body balance, which is, light to medium pressure, she'll just be really relaxed. She won't really any soreness. If she wants a deeper tissue type massage, which, maybe she signed up for that and she has an area that maybe has a muscle issue that they have to get in there, she could be a little bit sore, in that area. But, it certainly shouldn't hurt. Just because it doesn't hurt doesn't mean you might not have a little soreness after the fact. But if it does get to the point where it's painful, then we certainly want her to tell the massage therapist, it's just not comfortable, because they want to know that they a lot of times they can't. Sometimes they can sense it, but a lot of times they don't know, because, like you said, you didn't tell them anything. And I've done the same thing where I just kind of suck it up, laying there, going, tighten it up,
and they'll feel something and they'll find a knot and they'll work on the same spot for like 5 or 10 minutes, and they're supposed to get relieve those knots. And I guess it's supposed to hurt a little bit, because if you have a knot, you have to work it out. But after a while, it's kind of like, and obviously you get your face down in most cases, because it's usually in your back, and so they can't see your facial expressions. They can't see see you, biting on the bit, as it were.
Yep.
But please tell them, say, hey, listen, that hurts or that's a little uncomfortable. I told last time I went in there, and I didn't realize this because I got 2 torn rotator cuffs, and I need to go in and just have a major overhaul of my entire body. I need to go have an MRI from top to bottom, just go in and get all kinds of rehabilitation stuff done because I've had back surgery, I've had neck surgery, and I need more surgery on that stuff. But when I lay down, my shoulders shrug forward, or if I lay on my back, they fall back, and it hurts. And it doesn't hurt right away, but it does after about 3 or 4 minutes. I get uncomfortable. So when I'm laying down, with my face down the thing, they prefer to put your arms down by your side. And I always ask, can I put one underneath my chin because I want to prop my neck up, and then and they'll put as many pillows as you need underneath your body to make sure you're supported, and they want to make sure that it's the best experience you've ever had. Yeah,
without a doubt. We just need to know in advance. We do a little consultation, in the room before the massage, and that's when we certainly want you to tell us, what you don't like, what you do like, if you have any special needs, like to putting the arms down or in front. But if you forget about something that's during the middle massage, there's no rule that says you can't talk during the middle of it also. So just make sure we know about it, and we're going to take care of you and get you out of there, and you'll be a new person, hopefully, when you leave.
It's Rocktober. It is, of course, the month with Halloween. It's never too early to get into it here. We're recording this show here on October 3rd, is it already? We are getting into it, and it's going to be here before you know it. And so we got rock and roll songs that have to do with the Rocktober, with fall, and with Halloween. Your 4th one, Metallica. I love this song. What is your 4th song?
We're going to go with Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman, which you can hear pretty much anytime you turn on a football game on Sundays. Right. That's one of those stadium rock tunes, which, by the way, we've done a show. If you want to go back, and this is one of the few shows, and we're doing this on Spotify, and they're about ready to change the way they do things, so we're going to have to move around a little bit here. But this is one of the few shows where we actually have a business involved in hopefully some jocularity. We hope you enjoy what we're talking about. It's 2 guys we're talking about. We talk a lot about classic rock and some of the shows we've seen and things like that. But then it's got the music in it, and there's just not many shows like that because we have to pay a licensing fee to have that, and we're happy to do that here at TKR. So you got any songs you want to hear? Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. But if you want to go back and listen to some of our previous shows, pretty much, we've done stuff around Jazz Fest. We've done things certainly around New Orleans because you're hankering down that part of the country a lot. And a lot of themed type stuff. So check out a bunch of our shows. Yeah. We're very proud. And you've actually had some special guests that have joined us on our show.
That's true. That's true.
We actually had a show where we did a little mourning. And of course, we had a show where you had a loss of a family member of yours that was, I thought, really, really deep, and I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really good.
We have to bring another guest on soon. I have to figure out who that's going to be, but we'll do something soon.
There you go. Barbara in Tuscaloosa. I think we got time for a couple more. Barbara in Tuscaloosa. She said, outside farting in a bathtub, how can I make my house more spa-like? my son did that last night, by the way, and I thought the tub was going to turn upside down. I didn't think that you could fart in a tub and it actually stunk, but it did. It was pretty impressive.
Well, obviously that's going to be the number one thing to do, but besides that, you know what you could do? It's very, very popular. And we actually sell them in the spa. It's to put one of those diffusers in your house. I have one here in my house. Obviously we have them all throughout the spa, but and we sell the oils. We have a Woodhouse oil that goes in the diffuser, and it just it's a mist. You don't really even see it. It's going to smell spa-ish. It gets eventually kind of gets into the furniture, the fabrics, and you just sometimes you don't notice that after a little, like I don't even notice anymore at the spa, but it's a great deal. You can switch out scents, if you wintertime, you want something different, maybe a little bit heavier. And then the summer comes around, you want a lighter scent, you can switch out the scent. So yeah, they're very, you can find them on Amazon. It's not just the spa. So, I would say, stick a diffuser in there. And of course, you have unlimited money. You can go out and buy an infrared sauna, and then, you can get a hot tub, and you don't have to pass gas in it. You have a real one that has its own bubbles.
What does your expertise tell you about some of these things? And I know that we're getting around the holidays, so you're going to see a lot of these things. I'm seeing this, it's basically a treadmill for your feet. the thing that you can put underneath the desk. I forget what it's called. They've sold like a trillion of these things, and it's
Right.
just it's the same old stuff that they've always had. Now you can upgrade to a better mover. Basically, it's supposed to help your arthritis and your legs, your feet. It's supposed to keep your core temperature up because you're constantly moving, and people in the office can't even hear it, and blah blah blah. And it's just basically it's like a bicycle wheel, basically, but you're sitting on your butt while you do it. And then, of course, like the Bed Bath & Beyonds, they're going to have, the foot massage or foot therapy baths. They're going to have all these different, I think there's a pad that you can actually put in your bathtub that bubbles to make it more spa-like. Is that any of that stuff any good?
I mean, I've never known anybody that has bought one of those things where it lasted more than a few months and then they forget about it and goes in the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And I've seen the pedals, the foot things, and I kind of just laugh when because there's like people that drinking a Coke on the sofa watching TV, but they're pedaling the thing like it's going to make, I guess it's probably better than nothing, right?
Dude, they've sold like a million of those things. I mean, I can't believe that someone, because it's a dumb idea, but it's one of those things like why didn't I think about that? But this just goes to show that if you put enough marketing money behind anything, you can sell anything to the United States.
You can drink watch TV, drink a bourbon, smoke a cigarette, and exercise at the same time.
Yes,
so this is perfect.
That's exactly right. It's kind of like when I went to Vegas one time, I saw a woman with an oxygen. She was in a wheelchair. She had her air oxygen on one side with a cigarette and a bourbon in front of her. She was taking air, smoking a cigarette. I'm thinking, man, we're going to have a major fire coming out here in a few minutes. All right.
That's beautiful.
I've got one more question. Let's go ahead and do your final song first, and I'll finish up with this final question because it has something to do with what we're doing here today. But give me your last song here as we celebrate the month of October.
Yeah, this is the third song of 5 that has devil in it. This is Van Halen, Running with the Devil.
Running with the Devil. That's Motley Crue, the Stones, Ozzy, Metallica, Van Halen. Those are 5 killers right there, brother. I like that. And normally you throw in something like towards the end. I thought maybe
some ringer. Yeah.
I thought maybe you throw in some Cliff Richard, Devil Woman, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we can come up with another.
Yeah, we have a whole month, so we'll get to it.
Yeah, there you go. Finally, a question here from Tim in Birmingham. Please ask Stuart, pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds? Have you had pumpkin seeds?
Yes,
they're pretty good. I don't think people even know you can eat them. They're really good. I like pumpkin seeds because sunflower seeds are a pain in the ass. I don't like it's almost like crawfish. It's too much work to get the little meat out. It's almost like a practice in and of itself to how you get the meat out. And I know a lot of people that used to dip and stuff do the sunflower seeds. The sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds, which one do you like more?
Yeah, I mean, as far as taste goes, I like the sunflower seeds, but like you said, it's a pain in the ass. Except, like my son was literally playing baseball. I don't know how they do it, but they shove a whole pack of sunflower seeds, and they can crack them and spit them out without even touching the shit. So if I was able to do that, it might be different, but I'm the kind of, I have to grab one. I've got to put it in my teeth and try to crack it.
I'm like a flipping bird, man. I'm serious. I'm like a bird trying to crack that damn thing, and it'll take me a half an hour to get one seed. I don't know how they stick the whole thing in your mouth and then take one seed at a time and crack it open without. Maybe they're eating the shells too or something. I don't know.
That's spitting them out. I mean, I see them. They're getting all the salt off of them, sucking them, then they able to crack one open.
Been using my mouth for 40 years. For a good business. And that's one thing where, I wasn't really quite sure of. So, hey, we got to go. We're right up against it, my man. Great stuff. Tell people how they can find you there at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Yeah,
24/7 online, Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. You can book appointments online and purchase gift cards. Come by and see us. That's our favorite because we like to see your face. We're down at across from Saks Avenue in the Summit, or you can give us a call at 205-905-7676.
Till next week, my man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yep.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.